Okay, so if you've been keeping an eye on the tech job market lately, you've probably felt it too. Something's weird, right? It's this strange paradox that's got a lot of people scratching their heads and honestly a little worried. And they should be.
I mean, check this out. On one side, you're hearing about mass layoffs, 20,000 people in January alone, a lot of them junior devs. But on the other side, a full-blown hiring boom. The war for AI talent is so intense, salaries are hitting insane new highs. So what gives? How can both of these things be true at the same time? Well, it turns out the answer is a massive fundamental shift that's changing, well, everything.
It's something called the agentic shift. Think about it like this. For the last few years, AI has been like a really smart intern. A chatbot, right? You could ask it for help and it would help you write some code. Super useful. But now, we've jumped from intern to autonomous employee. These new AI agents don't just help you write code. They can take a whole task, figure it out, and just do it all by themselves. And that one leap, that's the thing that's turned the whole entry-level job market on its head.
So let's really dig into this. Why is the junior role, specifically, becoming obsolete? To get it, you got to look at what a junior dev actually does all day. It really just boils down to a handful of core tasks. You know the drill, right? It's the classic workflow. You go into Jira, you pick up a ticket, you read the docs to figure out what's needed, you write the function, you write a unit test to make sure it doesn't break anything, and then you submit a PR. For decades, this has been the bread and butter of being a junior developer. And here's the crazy part, how fast this has all happened. I mean, just back in 2024, AI was pretty good at helping with step 3, the actual coding part. That was already impressive. But now, in 2026, we've got these agentic frameworks, things like Crew AI or AutoGen, and they can do the whole thing, steps 1 through 5, autonomously. The change is just staggering.
And, this brings us to the cold, hard math of it all. If you're a company and you have a choice, you can have an AI agent do a task for, say, 50 cents in server costs, or you can pay a human developer $30 an hour to do the exact same thing. Which one are you going to choose? It's a no-brainer, and that simple economic reality is what's fueling this entire revolution.
And this really gets to the heart of it. The hands are just not that valuable anymore. The physical act of typing code is becoming a commodity. AI can do that. What's valuable now? What can't be replaced? The brain, the strategic thinking, the high-level planning. That's where the real value is now.
Okay, so this all might sound a little scary, a little doom and gloom, but it's really not. In fact, it's the opposite, because this massive change has created a brand new, way more interesting, and frankly, much higher paying job. It's time to meet the Orchestrator.
But, of course, there's a catch. These agents are powerful, for sure, but they're not perfect, not by a long shot. They can be kind of dumb, actually. They get stuck, they hallucinate, which is a nice way of saying they just make stuff up, and they really need a human to provide direction and keep them on the rails.
And that is the job of the orchestrator. See, you're not writing the code yourself anymore. You're not the one on the factory floor tightening the bolts. No, you're the one who designs the entire factory, a smart factory, where a whole team of AI agents does the work for you.
It's a totally different way of thinking. The old way, the junior dev way, was to ask, how do I write this specific function? A very small, focused question. The orchestrator asks a much bigger question. They ask, how do I get 3 different AI agents to work together to write the code, then review it, and then document it? It's a total mindset shift. You're not just a coder anymore, you're a systems designer.
All right, so I know what you're thinking. This sounds great, but how do I actually become one? What's the path? Well, it means learning a whole new set of skills, and I'll bet they're not the ones you learned in your coding bootcamp or CS degree.
Seriously, it's time to stop grinding LeetCode, stop worrying about memorizing every little bit of syntax. That's the old game. The new skills are things like flow engineering, building evals, and really understanding multi-agent systems. We're moving from being a coder to being an architect of intelligence.
So let's break that down. What should you be learning right now? First, get your hands on multi-agent frameworks, stuff like LangGraph or Crew AI. You got to learn how to make these agents talk to each other. Second, evals. Think of them like unit tests, but for an AI's brain. They're all about quality control. And third, tool use. You need to become an expert at teaching an AI how to interact with the real world, how to use a database or call an API.
Okay, that's a lot of theory.
Let's make this super practical. I'll give you a real-world example, an automated newsletter flow. Let's say you want to build a system that automatically creates a newsletter for you every single day.
As the orchestrator, you wouldn't write the newsletter. You'd build the team of agents to do it. So you'd have Agent A, your researcher, go out and search Google for the top news. Then you'd have Agent B, the scraper, go to those top articles and pull out the text. And finally, Agent C, the writer, takes all that raw text and summarizes it into a nice, clean script.
And here's the most important part. Your job isn't to write the summary. Your real job, your value, is to fix the system when it breaks. What happens when Agent A hits a paywall, or when Agent B tries to scrape a website with a crazy layout? You are the one who solves that problem. You debug the flow, not the code. That's the job of an orchestrator.
So, let's zoom back out. What does this all mean for you, for your career? It means we're at a crossroads, a huge one. And honestly, the choices you make today are going to determine where you end up in a few years.
Well, let's just be real for a second. The good old days of finishing a coding bootcamp and walking into a six-figure junior dev job, yeah, that's over. This new agentic world is not kind to people who are just competing on their ability to do simple, repetitive tasks. So the choice couldn't be clearer. You can try to compete with AI on things like syntax and speed. If you do that, you will lose. There's no way around it. Or you can level up. You can compete on system design, on strategy, on being the one who directs the AI. And if you do that, you're not just going to win, you're going to win big.
Look, the software factory of the future is being built as we speak. It's happening right now. The only question is, where are you going to be? Are you going to be the orchestrator who runs the factory, or are you going to be the one it replaced?